Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, Portland homeowner robbed at a gunpoint. Gunmen reported they robbed a homeowner of an undisclosed sum of money in Hope Bay, West Portland on Thursday. According to preliminary reports, around 6:45 p.m., 3 men armed with handguns broke into a home under the cover of darkness. Inside the house, they confronted a woman who was at home with her 2 children. Police reports indicated that the assailants kicked open the door and upon entry demanded money from the woman. After taking the money, one of the men restrained the child and demanded the keys to a car parked outside. The men then reportedly fled the scene in the stolen vehicle. Shortly after, an alarm was raised and the police were notified. Curfew imposed in sections of Lucea, Hanover. A 48-hour curfew has been imposed in sections of Lucea, Hanover. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Thursday and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Saturday, November 9. The boundaries of the curfew are north from the rear of the Johnsontown community to the seaside, running along the coastline parallel to the main road in an easterly direction to the Elgintown Sports Complex. East from the Elgintown Sports Complex, traveling in a southerly direction to a point at the rear of Key District. South from the rear of Key District, traveling in a westerly direction to the rear of the Brissett community. West from the rear of the Brissett community, traveling in a northerly direction to the rear of the Johnsontown community to the seaside location. During the hours of the curfew, all persons within its boundaries are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized by the ground commander. Jamaican pastor arrested on sex charges in New York. Jamaican-born Brooklyn-based pastor Reverend Edward Richard Hines has been arrested by New York police on sex crime charges. The charges, unsealed in the Brooklyn Supreme Court on Wednesday, accuse Hines of third-degree rape and having sex with an underage male minor. According to information reaching the news, Hines migrated to the United States in 2010. The divorced father is reportedly from the Grand Serpent community in St. Andrew. Hines has been indicted on sex abuse charges for an inappropriate relationship with a teenager, law enforcement sources told the Daily News. The pastor, who is executive director of the 67th Precinct Clergy Council, known as the God Squad, appeared on Wednesday afternoon in Brooklyn Supreme Court, where the indictment was reportedly disclosed. A special prosecutor from the Staten Island District Attorney's Office said that the charges related to an incident in 2022, with law enforcement claiming Hines and a 16-year-old male performed sexual acts on each other on Christmas Eve. Hines is the youth pastor at the Rugby Deliverance Tabernacle at the Signer Avenue in Brooklyn. The God Squad holds some US $10.5 million in contracts with the city agencies, and Hines has been involved in multiple programs launched by Mayor Eric Adams' administration. Prime Minister's fight against the IC ruling continues today. The legal challenge brought by Prime Minister Andrew Holness to have an Integrity Commission report on his financial affairs invalidated will continue today in the Supreme Court. Holness, through his legal team, is seeking to convince Justice Althea Jarrett to permit him to apply for a judicial review of the investigation and its associated final report released by Parliament on September 17. I believe that the tabling of the report was intended to embarrass and cause harm to me, and as such was made for an improper purpose and in bad faith to prejudice and harm me, he said, adding that it sought to impute a criminal and unethical conduct to me and other applicants. Holness applied to the Supreme Court on September 30 for several administrative orders, including the review. In the controversial 171-page report, the IC's Director of Investigation, Kevin Stevenson, said he could not conclude on the question of illicit enrichment, highlighted unexplained financial discrepancies in Holness's 2021 income filings and raised questions about tax compliance and the transactions of over $470 million involving connected companies. The IC, which said it could not certify the income declaration, referred the matter to the Financial Investigations Division, citing Holness's failure to provide expense details. However, Holness has denied any wrongdoing, claiming that the report is flawed and unfairly suggests unethical and criminal conduct by him and affiliated firms. He wants the Supreme Court to terminate all investigations into his financial affairs, invalidate the report, strike down the provisions of the Integrity Commission Act, and declare sections of the Corruption Prevention Act used to probe illicit enrichment as unconstitutional. He is contending that the probe into his filings for 2019 to 2022 was premised on what he believes is an unconstitutional provision of the Corruption Prevention Act, Section 14(5), which outlines that a person who fails to satisfactorily explain their wealth relative to their earnings commits the offense of illicit enrichment. He asserted that the provision undermines a person's constitutional entitlement to the presumption of innocence and should be struck down. Holness, his company, Imperium Investments Holdings Limited, and the two other connected entities, Positive Media Solutions Limited and the Positive Jamaica Foundation, are seeking judicial review. Their case is being led by King's Counsel Georgia Gibson Henlin of the law firm Henlin Gibson Henlin. The respondents are two senior commission executives, Director of Information and Complaints Craig Beresford, first respondent, and the Director of Investigations, second respondent, and the commission itself, third respondent. The firm Hilton Powell is representing the IC and its officials. The lead attorney is King's Counsel Michael Hilton, a former Solicitor General of Jamaica. Piggy facing extortion, gun charges, and more, Portmore incidents. Extortion, assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and using a firearm to commit a felony are charges that have been laid against the 29-year-old Michael Jess, otherwise called a Piggy, of Southborough in Portmore, St. Catherine, in relation to two alleged incidents in the parish. According to the Portmore police, Jess was fired from his job in July and has since been reportedly threatening and demanding money from his former employer. On one occasion, Jess, accompanied by two other men, reportedly confronted the former employer, brandished a handgun, and demanded $150,000. Then on October 29, Jess, along with the two other men, reportedly confronted the complainant again, threatened him, hit him in the face, causing swelling and pain, and demanded $500,000. The police were alerted, and Jess was arrested during an operation and was subsequently charged. A court date is being finalized. Teens charged for home robbery. A 14-year-old girl is currently before the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court, facing allegations that she stole more than $100,000 from her neighbor's home. The teen is charged with larceny from the dwelling, while her co-accused 19-year-old Jashawn Brown was charged with receiving stolen property. It is alleged that the 14-year-old went to the complainant's house and removed $134,000 and US $1,200, approximately 189,000 Jamaican dollars, from the dresser. The complainant noted that only US $200, approximately 31,562 Jamaican dollars, and $64,000 was returned to him since the incident. Me only get US $100 and change it for $14,000, and me give it back to the man, the teen said when cautioned. But a critical issue was brought to the fore on Thursday when the matter was mentioned before Senior Parish Judge Sancho Burrell, as prosecutors indicated that the case file was not complete. A statement from the arresting officer to indicate how Brown and the teens were apprehended was not recorded. The matter was adjourned until January 14, 2025 for file completion. However, the 14-year-old's guardian was warned to steer her from trouble. She needs monitoring, and if she is being disobedient, she will force the government to step in, the senior judge said. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.